जय श्री श्री राधा गोविंद की
जय।
गुरुदेव सुभद्रा महारानी पावन गौनिताई की
जय।
विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। Krishna Hare जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्रोत शत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर महाराज की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट डिवाइन ग्रेस गौर किशोर दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट सच्चिदानंद स्वरूप भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर महाराज की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट डिवाइन ग्रेस जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। शट गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की जय। मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी क्षेत्र की जय। गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। वृंद देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी हरे All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय
नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रहलाद की, शंकराचार्य प्रहलाद महाराज की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त श्रीराधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim Yatkripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramanandamadhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram
Yetu dharmamritam idam
Yetu dharmamritam idam
Yatoktam payupasate
Yatoktam
Shadhadana matparama Bhaktasteti vamepriya Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. Purport. In this chapter, from verse 2 through the end, from Maya Vishya Manoyemam, fixing the mind on me, throughout Yetu Dharmamritamidam, this religion of eternal engagement, the Supreme Lord has explained the process of transcendental service for approaching Him. Such processes are very dear to the Lord, and He accepts a person engaged in them. The question of who is better, one who is engaged in the path of impersonal Brahman, or one who is engaged in the personal service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was raised by Arjuna, and the Lord replied to him so explicitly that there is no doubt that devotional service to the Personality of Godhead is the best of all processes of spiritual realization. In other words, in this chapter it is decided that through good association one develops attachment for pure devotional service and thereby accepts a bona fide spiritual master, and from him begins to hear and chant. And to hear and chant and observe the regulative principles of devotional service with faith, attachment, and devotion, and thus becomes engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord. The path is recommended in this chapter. Therefore, there is no doubt that devotional service is the only absolute path for self-realization, for the attainment of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The impersonal conception of the Supreme Absolute Truth as described in this chapter is recommended only up to the time one surrenders himself for self-realization. In other words, as long as one does not have the chance to associate with a pure devotee, the impersonal conception may be beneficial. In the impersonal conception of the Absolute Truth, one works without fruitive results, meditates and cultivates knowledge to understand spirit and matter. This is necessary as long as one is not in the association of a pure devotee. Fortunately, if one develops directly a desire to engage in Krishna consciousness in pure devotional service, He does not need to undergo step-by-step improvement in spiritual realization. Devotional service, as described in the middle 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, is more congenial. One need not bother about materials to keep body and soul together, because by the grace of the Lord, everything is carried out automatically. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 12th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of devotional service. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, one thing that caught my attention in this verse is how many things Prabhupada put in this purport. Each of these paragraphs we could talk about a very long time about them, because Prabhupada makes so many points. So we'll just select one point that Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, and then each one of us can comment a little, like what you took from this verse. So one thing that Prabhupada mentioned that really caught my attention was how devotional service begins with the desire for association with devotees. So Prabhupada here is referencing that verse from Srila Rupa Goswami that says, Adau Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangota Bhajanapriya. Tata Ruchi Ruchista Tata Tato Sangha Adau Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangota Bhajanapriya. Yeah. So Prabhupada is referencing this verse that says that first starts the desire to hear Tato Narta Nivritisya Tato Nista Ruchista. Prabhupada refers this verse in the purport that first, it begins with faith that okay, if I practice Krishna consciousness, I'm going to develop transcendental loving service to Shri Radha Krishna. So first begins with that faith, and then from this faith begins association. And then from association one starts to practice Krishna consciousness. He starts to follow principles, avoid activities that are contrary to Krishna consciousness. And finally, when the person practices, then the person develops a taste for Krishna consciousness, and that's the secret, developing a taste. And then when the person develops a taste for Krishna consciousness, Tato Ruchi, then the person becomes fixed. Because this process is, Prabhupada used to say, this is a scientific process. Because really, when we practice it with dedication and attention, we develop our loving propensity towards the Supreme Lord. So it's not a sentimental process like when we avoid the bad activities and we cultivate good activities in association with devotees, we develop a taste. And this taste, I feel very good when I hear Krishna's name, when I chant Krishna's name, when we read Bhagavad Gita. When we develop this taste, then we are going to be fixed in Krishna consciousness. Because Krishna says that we're never going to overcome the taste for material things, but by experiencing something higher, then we become fixed. Because that's how we function as beings, right? We are always searching for happiness and pleasure. So when we find a higher pleasure, a higher taste, then we naturally abandon the inferior taste. So, it's a matter of faith, association, practice, and becoming fixed and developing a taste. Hari-Bo. Hari-Bo.
ये तो धर्मामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते परमा
Shraddhavanavadharma
भक्तास्ते तीव मे प्रियः
Bhaktaste ativa me priyaha.
So this is very nicely Prabhupada has given here these words and how we can come to understanding that how we can develop this attachment towards Krishna. So right now we have a lot of attachment. I have attachment towards my son. I have attachment towards my relatives, and I have attachment towards lot of desires I have, right? Attachment towards my job, attachment towards my education, and then this is like a great big illusion, right? Attachment. So very clearly here it has been told how we can cut this knot of attachment, because everyone has attachment. If you see this material world, someone dying in the family, people are just shedding tears. So it is very clearly we can see, person is right there. He is just there. But something is missing. This living entity himself is missing, only the body is there. So person who was very, we can say, want to understand about self-realization and Krishna and God, absolute truth, there was that, first of all, like distinct between this matter and spirit. So this is like a very, very simple process which is given in Vedic literatures. That yes, you try to, if you see Vedic literature, it is very, very vast, very, very big. It talks about everything. It talks about even mundane thing as well. Well, why? Because that's a very, 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 very gradual process for elevating a person, for understanding what is this Brahma. Brahma means which is not this matter, which is spirit. So that's a gradual process, but here very clearly it has been told that devotional service is the best. So how we can understand this devotional service is best? So we can understand this because in all the Vedic scriptures, devotional service is not very, we can say it is very confidential, it is hidden. You cannot find Krishna a lot in Vedic literature. Krishna himself says that I am covered by my internal potency, right? So even if the person is endeavoring for this thing, he may not get this. But fortunately, Prabhupada is right, if a person associates, so this is very, very important, that association of a pure devotee. Why? Because pure devotee is already liberated. He is on a platform where he surpasses all the laws of nature. He is beyond this, he is transcendently situated in the service of Krishna or absolute God. Absolute God. God can have many names. You can call him Krishna, Lord Ram, and Lord. It is been told his name is unlimited. You cannot count that much qualities, names are given to Krishna. So in some religion, people may call Krishna with other names, right? Everybody is on a different level of understanding God. But if somebody is really want to get into the absolute truth, into the final understanding of something, then he can understand that God is actually a person like us. He is just like us. So even in other religions, like Christian religion, if you see, there is very profound saying that man is made on the image of God. Even Prabhupada approved this statement. Yes, man is made in the image of God. Just like we have 2 hands, 2 legs, Krishna also has 2 hands, 2 legs, and he also has all the emotion which also we somehow inherit from Krishna. But here everything is not give us, we can say, satisfaction. To be very precise, you can try anything. You want to have a house, and that house has to be permanent, right? People endeavor for, from temporary to permanent, right? But at the end, you see there is no permanence in this whole world. We have to leave this. One day, order will come, you just leave this body. You have to leave.
Similarly, even though we inherit the qualities from Krishna, but we cannot actually apply any of them. The moment we apply, we become attached with this material world, with this matter. So, the overall understanding, we can say that what we are getting, even we do not know what we are getting. We are getting the highest understanding of Vedic literature. That is, Krishna is absolute God, or God is a personality. He is person like us, and devotion to Him is the best means a person can make himself liberated from this material world. So this is one thing, but even a person can enjoy also with God. That is the perspective of all the devotees. Devotees don't want to merge with Krishna. Devotee doesn't want to, see the localized Paramatma feature. No, they just want to engage everything in the service of Krishna. And that is possible even in this life. Right now also you can do that. Right? Isn't it? You have this body, you have all the senses. Just approach Krishna with any of your senses, they will become purified. So Krishna is being told he is like sun, and this material world is like darkness. So at the moment we approach light, we will also become enlightened. We also become enlivened. And then, just like sun, when it is night you cannot see even streets, it is dark. Artificially you may see, but you cannot see much far away. But you don't have to do anything. You just need to wait for the sun to rise, and then you can see very far also. So this is the process here. It is given that associate with a pure devotee. And we all know a lot of pure devotees in our movement. Srila Prabhupada is pure devotee of Krishna. So we should associate with him. There are processes. How we can associate? So there are two things. One is known as Vani and another is known as Vapu. So Vapu means just like we physically are present and interacting with each other. That is known as Vapu service or Vapu association. Similarly, we have Vani association. That means following the instructions of Krishna. Just like when we read Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada told you are actually in contact with Krishna by your intelligence. You are in contact. Similarly, the moment we associate with pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada, what will happen? We can associate with them. His physical body is not necessary at all. We can associate with him by his so much books he has, given to us. Mercifully he has given so many books. So the moment we read those books, to whom we are associating? We are associating with pure devotees. And if we continue like that, and if we do, all the processes properly, and what will happen? We will become very determined. And later on, we will also tread the same path which the other Acharya has followed. And gradually we will get everything. Everything means we will become free from this misery. So everybody is struggling very hard how to maintain this. I got disease, right? I got COVID, I got this, I got so many things, So this, Krishna also says that Padam Padam Yata Viparam. So this whole material world is like everywhere there is danger. The moment you go there, another danger. You go there, there is a traffic accident, right? But what can you do? Nothing. So the best is utilize everything in the service of Krishna, whatever time, whatever, assets you have. What asset actually we have? If you see, we don't have much asset. We only have active senses which are hankering for enjoyment, and so the only thing which we have right now, we possess is our body, our mind, our work. So if somebody transfer all these things somehow to Krishna via a pure devotee, you try it. Don't think like, it is just philosophical written only. No. Try it. You yourself will experience these things. There is something known as ecstasy. Devotee becomes mad in Krishna consciousness. He doesn't care for anything. He can go beyond this material nature. Shuddha Satsanga. So all these things are very much possible for all of us. Not like it is, oh, this is not my cup of tea. No. Everyone including Krishna says Kriya Shudra Tatha Vaishya. I mean, they also can reach this Param Gatim. So Krishna consciousness, you see other religion, there is a, you don't do this person cannot do this. No. In Krishna consciousness, everyone is allowed. Everyone, bodily or socially or whatever material qualifications we have, it doesn't matter. Whatever bodily qualification we have, nothing, doesn't matter. So, the only thing we can do is associate and then become sincere. Sincerity is also important. So please do both of them, and gradually you will see yourself elevated to Krishna consciousness more and more. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
ये तु धर्मामृतमिदम् यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धाधानमत्परमा भक्तास्तेऽतीव मे प्रियः. So I'd like to read the translation of this verse one more time. Those who follow the imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. So one very important part of this verse, of this translation, is the imperishable path of devotional service. So devotional service is called imperishable. And Krishna mentions at the end that those who follow this imperishable path are very dear to me. So this verse is showing us the glories of devotional service. So we seem to practice devotional service daily, but we don't realize on what path we are, what we're following. Because if you give someone, if you give a blind person a gold bowl, will he know the value of that bowl? He won't know the value of that bowl. And that's exactly our position. We have a gold bowl in our hands, but we've blinded ourselves with this black cloth of Maya and all these things. So the glories of devotional service, that's the main point in this verse. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 3rd canto, 25th chapter, 26th shloka, I will just read that. Bhaktya pumanjat viragendriyat drishta shrutan madrachanan chintaya Chittasya yato grahane yoga yukto yati rubir yoga marge. I'll read the translation now. Thus consciously engaged in devotional service, in the association of devotees, a person gains distaste for sense gratification, both in this world and in the next, by constantly thinking about the activities of the Lord. This process of Krishna consciousness is the easiest process of mystic power. When one is actually situated on the path of devotional service, he is able to control the mind. So you see, this consciously engage in devotional service in the association of devotees. So this verse is, this is the glories of devotional service, but then we're getting the process of devotional service. So the process of devotional service is engaging in the association of devotees. So, and what will happen? What will be the result if we do what this verse is telling us to do? We will gain distaste for sense gratification. So sometimes we may think, how do I know if I'm advancing in Krishna consciousness? How do I know I'm doing my 16 hours every day, or I'm doing this service or this service? Is it really benefiting me? Am I really doing the right thing? So the measure of that is when we start to feel we're not doing enough, and we start losing distaste, and we get distaste for sense gratification, that is when we know we're doing the right thing, or we're doing enough. When we think we're not doing enough is when we're doing enough. When a pure devotee or aspiring to be pure devotee is doing services, he thinks he is not doing enough, and that is when he's really doing enough. And further, so we know the devotion. Now we know the glories of devotional service, imperishable devotional service. We know the process of devotional service, but who has given us this devotional service? Sriman Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in the Madhya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 22, shloka number 2, there's a glorification of Srimad Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Tam Karunanavam Kalavapyati Gudheyam Bhakterena Prakashita. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is an ocean of transcendental mercy, and although the subject matter of Bhakti Yoga is very confidential, he has nonetheless manifested it so nicely, even in this age of Kali, the age of quarrel. So like Prabhu was saying, Bhakti Yoga is very confidential. So we as, Kali Yuga Jivas, how do we know this? How do we know what Krishna is talking about in this, the imperishable devotional service? How do we know to associate with devotees? Where do we get this knowledge? So this knowledge Mahaprabhu has brought us, and Mahaprabhu's, more Senapati Bhakta. Srila Prabhupada, he has brought these ISKCON temples, to the west. We living in the west for years and years and years, how will we? We're not going to go, Mayapur and get some, meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So who has brought it to us here? It is the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Srila Prabhupada. And the foremost instructions of both these personalities is Kali Kali Nam Rupe Krishna Avatar Nam Haite Haya Sarva Jagat Anistar. Shraddhavan and one, this is in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kali Kali Nam Rupe Krishna Avatar. So this is the instruction, and Nityananda Prabhu also says, Shraddhavan Jana He, Prabhu Ragyai Bhai Magi Diksha, Bolo Krishna Bhajo Krishna, Karo Krishna Siksha. So all our acharyas, all the associates of Srimad Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are telling these glories of devotional service, how to perform devotional service. And Nityananda Prabhu says, Aparada Shunya Hoye Loho Krishna Nam, Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhanpara. Hare Krishna.
He spoke about devotional service, and not just devotional service, but devotional service with faith, attachment, and devotion. And sometimes we feel like we are falling down, or we're not in association, or we're chanting and are having a taste for chanting. But Prabhupada's recommendation is to stay continue on that steady path, that imperishable path. If you think you're falling down and you have that association, make association, have a kirtan or, invite someone to do Mangala Aarti or Gaura Aarti. Try to do something to continue on that path. And one of the most important things that Prabhupada mentions in the book is having a spiritual master. Whether it's Shiksha Gurus or Diksha Gurus, pure devotion, and then eventually taking Harinam Diksha as well, to have that association with pure devotees. That's what
Yetu dharmamritamridam Yatokam paripasate
Siddhadhanam Parama Bhaktasthi Diva Me Priya. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So what I get from this is that you are associated with devotees and engage yourself in devotional service. You become near to Krishna. That's a perfect. And we should feel very much gratitude for all the acharyas, because it's not possible for human lifetime to chant all the Vedas and get the cream of the wisdom. But Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada has given everything. If you consider it like a fruit, he has peeled off everything and he's given the real fruit towards education. That's it from my side. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
ये तु धर्मामृतमिदं यथोक्तं परिपासते श्रद्धाधाना मत्परमा भक्तास्ते तीव मे प्रिया
ये तु धर्मामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धाना मत्परमा भक्तास्ते तीव मे प्रिया
ये तु धर्मामृतं विदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धाना मत्परमा भक्तास्ते अति मे प्रिया
ये तु धर्मामृतमिदं यथोक्तं परिपासते श्रद्धाना मत्परमा भक्तास्ते तीव मे प्रिया
ये तु धर्मामृतमिदं यथोक्तं परिपासते श्रद्धाना मत्परमा भक्तास्ते तीव मे प्रिया
यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धाना मत्परमा भक्तास्ते अति मे प्रिया From this verse, I think there is one thing I just noticed in this translation, that Krishna said very, very. They are very, very weird. He's just not saying like very. Krishna doesn't repeat his words. He doesn't need to. When he does, then it means it is very emphasized that okay, that it is true this way. So same thing here. Bhagavan said that whoever is doing the devotional service with faith, it's not like there's a lot of people who will say, oh, I believe this, I believe that, I believe in this, oh, I believe in darkness, or there is nothing, emptiness, or oh, it's just so good to have something empty and everywhere, nothing in there. They are believing, they do not know that, because they cannot have trust in it, because they haven't experienced it. They are trying to make something out of their mind, and that's what they try to believe. It is from their mind construction. But Bhagavan said here that they have from faith in Him. That is how we can do the devotional service to Him. Once we do that, that is the time Krishna is, that devotee is very, very good with Krishna. And as we know, there are a lot of examples, a lot of cases in Bhagavatam. You have heard about how Durvasa Muni has given the Shirap and all those things to Amresh Maharaj. How, like, even Krishna said that I cannot control this Darshan Chakra. It just goes away. It will just do anyhow to devotee. So it is that created. Krishna said, even if you do aparadha to me, I can take it. Even because Bhrigu Muni kicked Bhagavan Vishnu on his chest. And once Bhagavan woke up and he was asking Muni that, Prabhu, you should not do that. Like my chest is really hard. It's like hard, like it's hard and it must have hurt your feet. So he was so dear. So imagine that Durvasa, like imagine that when something happened to the devotee, we have heard about a lot of things about in Srimad Bhagavatam. So and how we can become the devotee? Bhagavan also said here that we need to get the pure devotee association. So association is, I think, most important. And thank you for your association that you guys came here and this short notice and a lot of people. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. On that note, Manesh Prabhu is going today, so I think he's like tomorrow, day after. Yeah, but it is his last Friday, 8th that we have here. So, yeah, last Sunday is gone. So this Friday will be his last Kirtan. So we're going to just say Hare Krishna Mantra all together. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So we will be singing one nice bhajan now, just to end the whole kirtan, and we will just give the rest to the devotees. Radha Krishna Pran. Jai Radha Govind, Radha Govind Radhe. Jai Radha Govind, Jai Radha Govind, Radha Krishna Pran Mora Jugal Kishora. Radha Krishna Krishna Vichaka
Rama
श्री श्री राधा गोविंद जी भगवान की जय, श्री नाथ जी की जय, श्री सीता राम लक्ष्मण भक्त हनुमान की जय, जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा मैया की जय, गौर निताय की जय, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि बोल।
Did you say Gauranga?
Gaura.
We're gonna dance. नाच करने का मन है तो करिए। Nobody said that.
How are you? Your son grew so much since the last time. Wow. How old is he now? He's so big.
Did you say Gauranga? Did you say Gauranga?
That's all.
Gauranga, Nityananda, Gauranga, Nityananda, Gauranga, Nityananda, Gauranga, 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 Gauranga,
Nityananda,
Gauranga,
Nityananda,
Gauranga, 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 Gauranga,
Nityananda, 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 Gauranga, 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 Nityananda, 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 Gauranga, 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 Nityananda, 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 Gauranga, 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 Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nityananda Bol, Nityananda Bol,
Actually, we can, yeah, obviously. Yeah.
We can go on and on, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, all the Prabhujis. Thank you so much for coming and giving your nice association. It was so good. And, so please bless me with all your, you can say, you can also give me association later on as well. We are not just living, right? Even though I am living bodily, but we will always be connected. Our connection path is Krishna. So the moment we remember Krishna, we remember everyone. And actually we love everyone. If we love Krishna, we love everyone. So Haribol.
Gauranga Bhaji